We're going to look at the 2026 year, the first 6 months of the year. We will be looking into it in depth. Brace yourself, prepare yourself, be in your conscious space of mind. Welcome to Arcana Veil. For January, we have the Hermit. We have the Ace of Spirit, which is alchemy. For February, we have the Six of Wands. For March, okay, solidifying, coagulation, January, February, March, April, May, June, right. For January, we will be seeing that most of the collective, the human collective in the world, in the realms in which they exist within, will be finding themselves in a position of seeking new understanding of how the reality will impact them in one way or another. We can find this through the process of knowing that the hermit within itself is always very powerfully focused on perfecting the idea of seeking the knowledge within. Within this space of knowingness, you will start your year with seeking to find new things that will be inspirational for you. Naturally speaking, most of you will be able to find this within yourself, because remember that the hermit is mostly within its own confines of space, within its own form of where your light shines, so you go towards that point. Your light as in within your consciousness. That's why the hermit is always holding the light close by in this particular deck. Can we see on what it is that for January that we can expect? One that came up, and then, okay, so Ace of Swords, the truth. About what? About achievements, about action, about work. Nine of Cups here. Holding things on a very close at hand, being very careful with your finances as well. Some of you may go into new work, new directions, new journeys. This is very strongly accented here within the path. And that basically in itself, can we see on the achievements for the collective? Suggesting Three of Coins coming into getting into business. Some of you may personally start something up new again with someone. You may get back into the saddle work-wise. You're starting your year very proactive. In other words, ahead of time, deciding now already, feeling that maybe the rest of the world is wanting to go into that same direction as well. Can we see here in February for 2026, the Ace of Spirit, the beginning. What does it mean? We're seeing 7 forces. That means the growing forces from within the nature of the self, where the same sense of a spiritual awakening seems to come through in February for most people in the world. There is a recollection of ideas, of new things, bringing a lot more information through. New people are starting to bring up new information on a spiritual level. Can we see another one here? 2 came out. We'll take them both. Pertaining to the same question, it says putrefaction, rebirth, starting in February, as well as calcination, which is the prima materia, a rebirth of some nature that's taking place within the consciousness of the human race. Remember that this is a global collective for 2026. So a lot of people with strong spiritual drives and strong spirited natures will try to bring new things into place. You're also looking at perhaps certain things that are going to be new inventions in February. And this will be a predictive reading. So this is, as I said, for the year 2026, for the first 6 months. Can we see in March? What is there for March? We're seeing here the Five of Swords. There's definitely some sort of interaction or interactive play that's taking place here. We're seeing, we're just moving June here. This is also Aries, obviously, March. And so there is definitely a recall of things. This person is walking away with all the weapons. People want to have peace now. They're actually tired of all of these things. So some of them might try to take certain things by the horns. They may try to be more proactive in terms of defending themselves. I'm seeing that here as well. I'm seeing something to do with the weather. For some areas, it might actually be very strongly rain focused, perhaps stormy. That could also be seasonal, of course. One more here. We're seeing the star. There's definitely a hopeful focus on something that needs to come into a point of direction here now that most of those things are taken away, the things that make people feel stressed, they are removing those things away. You could be doing that. When I say collective, global collective, the human race, 2026, I'm talking about the people, not about the systems that are trying to take away your power. This is the time where people are facing these things on a greater level and actually fighting to defend themselves so that they are doing this in a peaceful nature. It starts off with the nurturing aspect of the consciousness. Remember, the Hermit is the first month of the year in 2026, January. So it will give you the guidance. And remember, nothing is set in stone. It is all potential, and it all is determined by that which is the focus on the nature of the energy itself. You determine whether you want to have it cement itself in your consciousness or not. One last card for March. We're seeing for the presence of forces, which means that there's definitely a revival of some sort here taking place. This could also refer to people that are coming into alignment, being more focused on the spirituality. Some may be focused on religions. There might be a revival of some sort coming in where there's an introduction of new ideas. Like I said, a revival of some emotional, spiritual movement in some way, shape, or form. This may be in very small parts of the world where people are starting to step up into that direction now. Looking at April, what is being solidified in April? We're seeing here the focus on the Eight of Swords, which means that there is a trying to. This is where the system comes in, and the systems within themselves are trying to force people to face whatever they've been doing as that it was wrong, or that it was error, or that it was sinful, or futile. This is a projection of what the intentions are of the system, is always to try and keep certain things in a suppressed space. Let's see. We have the King of Wands here. Someone challenges. You challenge the system. You step out of it. You do not accept this. You stand, the King of Wands, you stand strongly within your own personal power. You do reflect back. He looks back to the truth in which he started the year. You are reminded with what you started your new year with, as in the truth, the guidance. He's got an eagle on his hand. He's in control of his visions, his sight, his power, and what he's able to set forward in place. This is a hybrid deck. It is a combination of tarot and alchemy, with a little extra other spice in there, obviously. Seven of Coins, financial outcomes, things that are coming back online. There's a financial focus here in April. where there's definitely a moment of seeking to clear up new things. Some people are paying off their debt. I'm seeing that there's definitely a focus on strongly paying off the debt that has been perhaps been tied up to you for so long. For some of you, you're also investing. For some of you, you're also going into retirement. I'm seeing that quite strongly as well. Some of you are investing in retirement. Yeah. And the financial industry is just carrying on in the same trajectory, which I'm seeing here. So there's not much of a change there in the financial sector, as what I can see. In May, we have a tower, and so in the tower, as you know, Mars, it is something that someone has said happens for you, not to you, and so therefore, in May month, new changes are coming in place in terms of that which has been old. This could very well be that these forces of the system that are being broken down so that it doesn't hold that much power of the consciousness of humanity, because after all, remember how the year has started. Can we see on that? Can you see on May? We're seeing here dissolution, something that dissolves away that which is debris, that which is negative, that which is old, and things that need to get put to rest, things that don't have a purpose anymore. You do not accept certain things for what they are, because they were suppressive, oppressive, and depressive over your life. These two came out. We'll take them. We have death here, exactly what I've just said now. Death to certain things, death to the illusion of suppression, oppression. When the focus is within the consciousness, there is no oppression. There is only victory. We will look now at June as the 6th month, as supported here by the Four of Wands, showing celebration, stability of the will, now setting things in place here. Can we see on, okay, this one was upright. 9 of coins here, very, very strongly put in place. Money matters are gaining now. So literally you're looking at a flow pattern in which the money will climb slowly but surely, and that actually correlates to the consciousness of humanity and how humanity sees itself as a value and a validation of humanity's existence, which allows the financial path to actually be a proof of your existence within reality in part. See the next two. We have the Three of Wands, expansion and foresight, wonderful. And one last. We have the Chariot of Stars. That is the Chariot card, the 7, the Cancer, driving very strongly. A togetherness, a community-based focused. You are in strong support here. You will be supported. Things will come to you faster by being able to be in control of the natures of your upper and your lower, your mind and your upper world and your lower world. You are in control of both of them. You understand that what is within your mind is also that which is projected out in your world and plays itself back to you. So therefore you are in control here. Most part of the humanity in its consciousness is able to understand how it encounters the way that reality operates. Although we're not talking about the salesmen that are trying to sell ideas that is all based on new age paradigms that do not support things in a logical sense of the manner in which it is. And so I will leave this with you. This is the first 6 months of from January to June 2026. This is your forecast for 2026. Until next time, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for a very unique experience in understanding how reality can be read and understood and interacted with in the best form from within the heart. I will talk to you soon.